And we're going to stream live to YouTube. And it looks like we're live. I don't see it just yet. There it is. It's coming up. There we go. We got it. We are live. I love it when we're live. It's great. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is season 3, episode 118. Let's say hello to everybody that's in the chat real quick. We got Bill H. Glad to see you. Travis D. It's always good to see you too. We got Karen PTG. Yeah, there it is. It's coming up. There we go. We got it. We are live. I love it. Wow. We had some echo. Hopefully that was taken care of. We got Will Fly, Care PPG, John Wayne, Tony Marzano. Got a lot of people in the chat. So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to introduce everybody on the panel real quick, and then we're going to jump over and say hi to Ira Hayes, as he's going to be doing something amazing here on video in just a second. So make sure that you're watching. This is going to be so cool. As always, we have our very own Linda Anderson. If you want to be on our show, just get up with Linda Anderson. You can find her at paramomusa.com. Welcome. We also got Jim Senard from Canada. My bestie friend from Canada that has maple syrup smelling money. Maple syrup. He prints out a bunch of stuff for us over at carepp.com, including our Paramotor calendar at paramotorcalendar.com. And he's also a pilot. So if you want to watch his crazy shenanigans, go to careppg.com. We also got Will Fly from Will Fly PPG. Welcome to the show. Glad that you're here. He makes amazing videos. So make sure you go over to willflyppg.com. Check out his videos. Awesome. We also have somebody else popping in. Wow, we got Chucky Wright that just jumped in too. What's up, Chucky? Glad that you made it here. We also got Eric Lear from PPG Lear, LEAR.com. Glad that you made it here, buddy. And if you have any questions, make sure that you say hello to Eric, which is PPG Lear, and also Will Fly in the super chat, as they will relay all the questions over here. But it's not about me. It's not about us, the panel member. It's about Ira Hayes. Ira is our guest tonight. And what I want to do is show you this video real quick. I'm going to do a screen share. We're going to let you watch this. This guy flew in on a paramotor to his wedding. So here it is. Yeah. That is so cool. Actually flew in to his wedding on a paramotor. Now, who does that? So Ira, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. You flew into your wedding. Tell us what you were thinking as you were flying in.
Kept me off of thinking about getting married. That's for sure. It's pretty nerve-wracking. Kept my head focused on the task at hand, and that was I live in San Diego, California, and so that was in Mission Beach area where we're allowed to fly off of Fiesta Island, and so we fly PPGs off of there, and then I do a lot of other free flying and stuff like that. So it was a pretty special moment. My wife allowed me to land a paramotor into the wedding, so it was
that
fun.
Is really awesome. Well, Ira, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for being here tonight. We got you for 1 hour, which is a lot less than what we normally do. So, no 5-hour show tonight. It's only going to be an hour, guys. We will be giving away some stickers. So make sure you say hi to everybody in the super chat. If you have any questions, make sure you let Will know or Eric know. Ira, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into free flying and PPG, and of course your background in flying fixed wings.
Yeah, so I'd love to. Well, since I was a little kid, like a lot of us, we love to fly. Like, what do you want to do? I want to be a pilot. And so it kind of started my journey. And at about 14, I grew up in Florida, and my parents didn't know much about flying, but they tried to help out wherever they could. So I started flying J3s and off the little grass runway, and so ended up carrying that along with an old naval aviator. So he was a carrier guy, and pretty extreme, like flying for the most part. So got to solo a couple airplanes on my 16th birthday, and then ended up getting my license and attending the Air Force Academy, where my ultimate dream was to, you know, like a lot of people, to fly a fighter jet at some point. And so ended up getting to fly an F-15 in Alaska, which was cool in my third to fourth year, and kind of ended up losing my pilot qualification due to some eyesight issues and getting out of the military a little bit like jaded, I would say, about some of the flying stuff. Got back into it for a little bit on the fixed wing world, and then kind of fell out of it. And I was lucky enough in my growing up time that my mom knew the guy who owned the St. Augustine Airport, so I got to fly with Patty Wagstaff a couple times in our stunt planes. And so just that whole, just all of flying, I loved it. Three-dimensional, like it's super cool, like conservation of energy, the technology that goes into it. And then I kind of got out of it for, I would say, like 8 years, where I wasn't flying at all, and dabbled in some skydiving, some of the other stuff that I didn't find as appealing. And then I saw paragliding, and I was a kite boarder, and so I was like, this has got to be it. Like this is it. And so I kind of found an instructor and learned how to like tow in Arizona, which tow flying is pretty fun because you can gain so much altitude before you strap on a PPG, and you're just you in the wing trying to figure it out, and really hooked right then. And so that was about 8 years ago. I started free flying, and then I was addicted from that point on to paragliders in general, because having a wing like this that you can fit in a backpack is just the most amazing thing ever. And that kind of led into the paramotor world, where it's amazing to be able to take off without having to climb up a mountain or anything crazy. So did a lot, done a good bit of paramotoring, and it's been an absolutely pleasurable, fun experience. I try to keep it safe-ish, and so I try to follow the rules and try to make sure all that I'm not doing anything out of bound. And so it's been a very pleasurable, fun experience. And then watching the technology progress, the wings progress, and all this over the last 8 years, material science, which my background's in aeronautics and stuff like that, and then just the companies getting into it, and some of the transitions to, you know, as we go to more battery operated stuff. Again, I live in Southern California, like Torrey Pines is right there for me. And so a lot of interesting people. The people are the coolest part of it, in my opinion. And so you meet a ton of interesting, diverse group, and it really opens up flying to a whole, to a wide spectrum of people. And it's the most amazing form of flight, in my opinion, because it's relative. You're the CG below everything, and you're one toggle away from about 6 Gs if you want it. So
that's true, definitely.
Everything.
I think I hear some echoing. Do you have another? Do you have like YouTube open or something? I hear like an echo going.
Don't.
Just in case you do, we got some questions in the chat. Who wants to ask the questions in the chat?
Go ahead, Eric.
Okay, sorry about that. Bill H wanted to know, did you say that you who his instructor for paramotors was?
JC Perrin, he's a free flight and paramotor instructor out of San Diego. He's one of the lead flight instructors at Torrey as well, and tandem pilot. So I think he's got around 24,000 skydives also. So he's very senior in the world of flying himself and other people. And yeah, so, and he's an amazing person. He says life is good every day. And he came from Venezuela originally, like ran some skydive programs in Florida for a long time, and then ended up training military. There's a lot of military and military tied people in San Diego. So he's JC is one of the most amazing guys, great pilot, super safety conscious. So it was a good intro into the sport. And that was the first time I ever flew a paramotor, was over the Salton Sea area. So that was pretty great place to learn in the early morning.
Nice. And a couple of guys did say thank you for your service.
Oh yeah, no problem. Again, I was in the Air Force, so my dad was a Marine, my granddad was a Marine. It sounds like Sean was a Marine, so I went to the Air Force. It was a lot easier.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about that on the pre-show. It's like, yeah, I think that you had an easier boot camp than me with the Marine Corps boot camp.
Yeah, mine was a little longer. Like the academy was pretty long, but yeah, they told us if we ever had to use our weapons, everyone else was dead. So, like I qualified expert because someone next to me shot my target. So that was, and then I was like, should I redo this? And they're like, nah, just take your badge and leave.
Go.
But I'm not bragging on the Air Force. They were like one of my friends.
Yeah, you're bragging. It's all right.
But, I was just like, this really like, this is how we're doing this. So
you can brag anytime you want.
It's been, but yeah, paragliding and paramotoring. And again, like it's been quite an experience. And I hope more people get to do it as well. And that's what's really, I think you kind of see it, but until you live it, and it's the most, like, it's how flight should be. Like it's just perfect in that aspect, in my opinion, because it's again, the travel capabilities and the transport side of it is just amazing. And then the, like a lot of the computer simulation testing and things they're able to do now to make wings better without having to make them 1,000 different versions and like reflex wing. It's just gotten, it's an amazing thing we get to do. So
I agree, definitely. Let's see, you've been doing PG for 8 years, and I think that we have some more questions. Who wants to ask the questions from the chat?
Well, there's a couple of questions. They're kind of related to each other, but Mad Slopers, you're from San Diego, right? And where do you fly out there? Like Torrey Pines, you fly with Robert Michaels, that group?
no, I fly mainly out of Torrey, but with like Max and the instructors here, and then JC, and then I fly like by paramotor, not as much, and then I go to Arizona sometimes. Like last year, we went to the Moe's, like that Arizona Flying Circus, which was quite an experience. I don't know if anyone here has been to that one, but that one was probably one of the most wild things I've ever encountered, from flamethrowers to cannon bingo to like, literally like play bingo with a cannon. So it's a pretty insane experience. And then yeah, I do a lot of, like, the other thing I like about paragliding and paramotoring is like you're the only person you need. So if you're feeling that like angst to like get out there, like I don't feel like I always have to be like surrounded by a bunch of people. So yeah, that's kind of been one of the other allures to it, kind of like motorcycles and things like that, which is, it doesn't take a big crew necessarily. It's fun to like join in the events and do that stuff. But yeah, but yes, San Diego now, originally from Florida, and been here for 5 years, and then Arizona previous to this.
You're from Marathon, right?
Florida, yeah.
Yeah. So I could see how you'd be interested in aviation, because Marathon's 90% airport by volume. You know, if you look at it, it's like the airport's most of the land that's there, you know.
It's just, and I was born on a sailboat, so sailing, I love sailing. It just, all this flows together: surfing, sailing, and then like
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, it's the pinnacle of free flight stuff. So
Yeah.
motor, paragliding, and done I've dabbled in most of it, like dabbled a little bit in like acro, like gliders and things like that. But the logistics on them, like paragliding and paramotoring, the logistics is so great. It's so awesome that you can travel, you can go to where you want, you can pick your weather conditions, you can, as long as you're abiding by, the airspace rules, and it's kind of up to you. There's not really a tail number, so don't do anything like silly. So yeah, it's I don't know, it's amazing thing.
Yeah, because what you do really does affect the rest of us.
It does, 100% does, and we hear it all the time, even in the free flight world, and like because most people, I would say 90% of the people I know do both, and they usually primarily do one, but in the there's a ripple effect, and it's I think it's a growing community, and so we have to be great stewards of that community and the outside representation of what's expected, and everything from noise to safety to, like, Tori here has a lot of, like, because we're in a kind of a microcosm that I'm surprised sometimes that they still allow us to fly there, but everything from incidents to, so it's like making sure that everyone's being a good steward for the entire sport, not just for themselves.
Agreed.
It looks like somebody sent us $10 in the super chat. DP did. Well, thank you, DP. He
Nice,
said,
man.
"Thank you for your service, Ira and family."
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, thanks, DP. And yeah, and like again, I guess this is kind of open forum. I'm not as prepared. I would say, I think 2018 I filmed Shark Tank, which was a little more and our episode didn't end up sharing, but I got yelled at by Mark Cuban one time, so that was pretty fun.
Nice.
Actually, he was pretty nice. Who was mean? Barbara was mean. Like, so we stood up there. She was very mean to me.
Really?
So just so people know, as far as this Shark Tank thing, you start up or help start up companies, like 300 of them so far, right? So tell us a little bit about how you're helping companies and that aspect.
Yeah, so no problem. This isn't a pitch by any means. This is just what I ended up in the government world for a while, and then moved. I ended up in, like, living in DC, not really liking it, and kind of me and a few of my friends from college quit our real jobs and moved to Arizona to start a company with no idea how to start a company from it. Like, you hear this word entrepreneur a lot, and it's like kind of an overused term, I think, because it's more of a financial term, which means to take financial risk for future value. But yeah, we ended up in Arizona in, like, a frat house with whiteboards on the walls, and created a medical education company. And I think 1 million people used it. And so from that, I went into building a couple other projects and companies. And now we try to help people go from what it is to go from idea to launching something. So it's very exciting, and it's fun on that aspect. And then it's a lot like, there's a lot of parallels between what you do as a passion and what you do as fun and what you want to do in life. And so that's why I don't know, and the freedom to do so. And that's where I think the draw to things like paramotoring and, the kind of getting out of your comfort zone a little bit, but still doing it with a plan. And so that's I think that's the biggest one is, of course, like Murphy's Law says everything's going to go out the window, but at least have a plan to start out with, and try not to pull lever A too many times. If it doesn't work the first time, pull lever B. Like, so it's a lot like starting a company, like pivot, like define, try to predict. So yeah, that's my current day-to-day, and like day-to-day joy of kind of chaos and trying to work your way through the chaos of that stuff. So yeah, it's cool. And yeah, and I mean, I love the I guess the science and a lot of the other stuff behind, like, flying. And everything from, you become a part-time meteorologist as well, which is always a lot of fun. Like, you're like, I wonder what the weather is going to do in 2 days. Like, I wonder, and you look at everything so differently once you're, like, free flying like this. You're, like, looking for rotor everywhere, like every turn, every decision, calculation. So it puts you ahead of, like, where you're at. And so I think it's just a good thing in life in general to try to, like, you can't predict what's going to happen, but you can prepare. And I think that's what really makes it, and it's kind of you're your own decision maker. So it makes it beautiful. There's a beauty about all this stuff.
Absolutely. When we were on the pre-show, you talked about your friends were building electric paramotors with Tesla batteries. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I think this is maybe, I hope, being part of, because I love my dirt bike. Like, I love 2-stroke, 4-stroke stuff, but I really think some of this evolution is going to be led. In Southern California, we have a lot of electric vehicle stuff. One of my friends, who's a paraglider pilot, owns an electric vehicle company where they basically dismantle Teslas and retrofit vintage cars with them. And it's called EV West, but he stitched together a bunch of Tesla batteries. He's a brilliant, brilliant guy. He started Gravity Skateboards too. His accolades are really insane. But yeah, and made an electric Tesla powered basically paramotor with a battery that's round because he made the battery out of all the little ones stitched together with a stitching machine, and then built the motor controller and everything for it. And so it's pretty wild, and like, you know, that's going to be. And we've had other few friends with like plans that have gone down the road of building some more electric, like the more quadcopter versions and stuff. I've never flown one of them, but I think it's going to be really interesting when that starts to get out there.
That's pretty neat that he can stitch together Tesla batteries
Yeah.
round and stuff. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
you can. I mean, they're just a bunch of 18650s, like a few thousand of them, like those 18650 batteries. And when Teslas get wrecked, or this is going to be it's a real interesting thing when they get wrecked, flooded, stolen, anything happens to them. Basically, the drivetrain and the battery are fine almost all the time, and so the motors and the batteries are usually fine. And so, yeah, got to do something with all these batteries. So might as well make a bunch of paramotor stuff.
So go to the junkyard where the Teslas are, pull the motors and the batteries, and make some cool stuff.
Absolutely, and that was kind of their theory. Like, I don't know, I'm sure you find me on Facebook, but I'm Ira Hayes on Facebook and Bro Stokely on Instagram. But we turned a Tesla into an El Camino like 3 years ago, and it was with another paramotor, like with him and another paramotor buddy. We basically cut the whole top of a Tesla off and loaded 2 electric dirt bikes in it, which are the most dangerous thing you can ever get on, are the electric dirt bikes, because it is wildly out of control.
That is so cool.
We called it the Tesla Mino, or he called it the Tesla Mino. And so it erected in a drift competition like 2 weeks later. But, yeah, so we had a lot of exciting stuff and most of these people are met through the paragliding and like free flight community or flight community. So yeah.
That was really cool. Any questions on the panel or any questions in the chat that we need to address?
Yeah, we got a couple. Tony wanted to know, when he did skydive, what did he think about the transition going from skydiving to PPG or PG?
This is a big one. So I speed fly a bit as well, and skydiving rigs are fall retardation devices. Like, they're not, I don't consider, unless you're flying like something cross braced, like it's like the self-arrest system as you're falling. And so I think people get really heavy-handed that come from the skydiving community when they get into these like very nimble airfoil type wings. And so we see a little bit of that not being a great overlap. So I think you almost have to retrain yourself from that kind of mentality on how you're going to turn. You're being held by here, so there's not really weight shift, and weight shift was the number one thing that we all learned first, was how to weight shift turn and try to like keep everything working correctly. So I love it that I'm not an avid I've never was an avid skydiver. But I think you have to be real cautious from that transition, because they don't work the same way. One's made to help you descend, the other one's meant to fly. And so they're trying to create lift at all times. And anecdotal story is, I hadn't skydived in a long time. I was paragliding and speed flying quite a bit. And I signed up for Miles Dasher's base jumping class. I don't know if you know who Miles Dasher is, but he's the head of the Red Bull Air Force, the most surviving base jumper. And they take you out to Idaho and basically say, here's a rig, jump off the bridge. And so I hit not a tree, but like a bush my very first jump, because I was being paraglider or speed wingy on it, and I wasn't turning, and I just added a little more, and nothing happened, and I flew into a bush. And I was like, well, what do I have to do to make this thing stall, or like something bad happen? He was like, what do you mean? And I was like, like how much should I pull on this one? And he was like, oh, you can put your hands all the way behind you and nothing happens. So that's not the case for when you're flying a small like PPG or PG wing. And so I think going the other way, I've seen it be like, I think it's coming from PG or PPG, a lot of times to that, you're not going to have that same issue. So yeah, that's my correlation. And we see it like, we see it a lot. And a lot of people that are in the skydive community get into speed flying right into it without taking the proper steps and precautions. And they think it's going to do the same thing. And they're the ones that end up, not having a good time. And the whole, like, Sabova doesn't have a good time a lot of times because people dirt out pretty regularly.
Gotcha. For the people that are listening to this podcast and don't get to see this, you got something behind you. Could you tell us what that is and what that's all about?
Yeah, as long as I can do a little cursing. So the guy that started this company that we work with, he's really interesting, but he trademarked this. It says "fuck average, be legendary," and so it's kind of the motto, and that we go by is like, just be legendary. That's what you want to be, and so not infamous.
That sounds like everybody should, just being average. Let's all be legendary. I mean,
yeah,
I agree. I mean, that's a wonderful. I mean, that should be like on T-shirts.
Yeah. So we have. I think he's printed it on some of them, but yeah, he decided to put it on the wall here, and I'm still.
I've been the first part of that many times in my life. F everything. I didn't do the be legendary. That would have made all the difference in the world,
That's funny.
Hey, Mad Sloper, I forgot to ask. He said he wanted to know what you fly, what equipment you fly.
Oh, I fly mostly BGD stuff now. Let's see. I've been through all the equipment. I love it's my favorite paramotor now because it's so light and easy, and I bought it before my wedding. I kind of got out of it, but I fly a mini plane right now with carbon prop, and I'm not trying to go air racing or anything on this. I'm trying to have a good time and be able to take off, and like seems to do its trick. I've flown quite a bit of Kanggook and some of the other brands. I never really got into reflex wings that much, so I can't talk too much about it, but we would just downsize to our like mini wings and go fly them. But I've always been a huge proponent of, like, it seems like a risk that's not worth the reward most of the time to downsize too much, especially if you're doing it for fun. Like, this is my hobby. This is my fun. I'm not getting paid to paramotor or paraglide. And so I'll fly like my regular full size, like base or epic with my paramotor and just tool around, and I can take off and land and no problem. And
I'd like to share the video of you flying into your wedding again now that we have a full house. So if you just joined us, Ira actually flew in to his wedding on a paramotor, and here he is coming in and landed, stuck it like a boss.
Yeah.
So
you don't have to watch the rest of it. I think people have seen it, but yeah, like it's
so it's for the people that are listening to this and are not able to actually watch what we're doing. Could you tell us what you're actually watching on the screen and share with us how you felt?
Yeah, sure. So I felt less jittery because I got to do that. It was an amazing experience. One of my friends landed next to me. So basically I took off of Fiesta Island, which is a legal paragliding spot in the city of San Diego in the Bay. It's about a mile and a half from there. And then we're out of airspace. There is a VOR in the area, but you go around it and you're fine. And so I basically took off, flew around for 20-30 minutes, like around the area. Everyone got their pictures, got a little show. I was on a BGD Epic, I think probably 24 meters, so a big wing. So I wasn't too worried about that. I was a little concerned about, luckily there was not much wind, but I was landing behind some trees and over a railing. So I was worried a little bit about rotor, but not too much. And in that case, and so came in my wedding clothes with a gold jacket on and landed pretty, I would say on that one, pretty flawlessly. And that was actually taken by the company owner here on his TikTok account. And he has like a lot of followers. So, and then, yeah, went and threw my sport coat on and got married. And
Did anyone not know that you were going to do this? Was it a surprise to anybody?
yeah, like a lot of people didn't know, like, well, my wife knew, but it kept me like on my A game to make sure that like everything was, she knew. And then my best man flew in with me on his rig. He has one built by Mo. And then he landed off for me. So we flew around for a while, like trying to make the logistics work of getting from there back to the weddings. And then I would say 85% of the people didn't know. So they were like, oh, how's Ira coming in? And
They're probably like, look at who's this nut? What's he doing? Land here.
wedding crash. So maybe I can crash the next wedding just and land in them. So like, but yeah, it was
because what I'm saying here is like, you really just nailed it. I mean, just
that's all. It's a 1-to-1 game here. Like every successful takeoff has to equal a successful landing. Like,
right.
And where you don't get hurt. So that's been my theory on all of the flying stuff. Like for each takeoff, there is a landing. And I've experienced like friends and like close people, like what happens when it goes wrong, because it can go wrong. And and how you deal with those situations. But yeah, like that was an amazing day. And like, I'm glad I got enough like time, training, time and seat to basically pull that off. I think that, yeah, like it definitely made for a better story for people.
Sure. That's so cool. Congratulations.
Yeah, that was
awesome.
6 months ago, I think. Yeah, exactly 6 months ago. So,
yeah.
So yeah, everything worked out. My friend owned the venue, so that's why it wasn't.
I'm glad you didn't butt land.
No,
you know, that would have been like the day of your wedding. You come back. I'm glad everything worked out for you.
It did. Panic later, panic after things are done.
It's interesting you say every successful takeoff equals a successful landing.
Yep.
So my theory is every successful takeoff equals a landing.
Oh, you're gonna land. How successfully? Oh, you're coming back down.
Exactly.
But if you femur yourself, you're not gonna have a good time.
Right, exactly.
Maybe
we have a question from Kelby, and he's also military. He wants to know, what did you do in the Air Force?
Oh, I was in the services department after the academy. I took a quick out after that, so I didn't do much, honestly. Like I got out and then I took over a construction company, moved to DC, so that was kind of I think that threw me out of some of the stuff. I used to rebuild airports, I had a project management company. And so I lived in DC and I got to travel around to a lot of airports and basically rebuild control towers and radar sites for the most part. And that's what then spawned me to kind of leave all that and do this crazy startup kind of build your own, get way out of your comfort zone, like super far out of it, and then go build like medical education company, which I knew nothing about. So yeah, I mean, I'm very like all the training and kind of the mentality of being in the military. Like I love that part of it. Like it fit well, but it just wasn't a career for me after I don't know. I would have been like long-term military probably wouldn't have been the best for me because I had one myopic goal, which was to be a fighter pilot or a pilot of some kind for the Air Force. And I ended up not being able to do that, but I did get to fly an F-15 once, which was amazing.
Yeah, you said you did that in Alaska?
Yeah, in Elmendorf, between your sophomore and junior year, they send you to like ops in the military or the academies, and I got lucky enough to go to Elmendorf, and then they give you like what are they called? They're not incentive rides or something else where you get to get in a plane, and so if they have refuelers, you get to get in that. If they have fighters, you get to get in that, and so it was got to refuel off of a tank. It was a cool experience. It was an amazing experience. So because I don't think I could like figure out how to break the sound barrier another way, but
yeah, and that's right out of Anchorage there.
Yeah, and I travel quite a bit. I actually got back from I ski and snow. I kind of I do a lot of this, like a lot of the sports, and so we got back from closing weekend in Juneau at Eagle Crest like a week ago. And then I just landed from like Tahoe, got a ton of snow over the weekend. So I landed at like midnight last night with my wife. And then now I'm here like at the office. So yeah.
Well, it sounds like your wife doesn't mind you flying paramotors. And Tony Marzano's asked, does your wife fly paramotors?
Ooh, this is she started free flying with me and made it through 13 flights until her successful takeoffs didn't equal her successful landings. And so like not in a bad way, everyone's allowed to make their own decisions and stuff. And we were in Big Sur, like where you have no like good connections and stuff. And she hit a little sink on landing and hit a rock, like the only rock in a field. And that on video. So she broke her ankle, but she got time to hang out with our dog and that we just gotten like 3 days before, a little puppy and veterinarian. So it was a good bonding time. And yeah, so I kind of ended her, like, it also used to make me really nervous, like, honestly, because like, it's one thing when it's you putting yourself out there, and it's another thing when you see someone you love, like kind of going, and we're not necessarily flying small stuff in good conditions, but it's a little more like, it's very committal. Like that's the one thing about this, it's full commitment. As soon as your feet leave the ground, you're committed in both of them. So yeah, so she loves that kind of stuff. She actually flew off of, her first flight was off a crest line with one of my instructor friends and by herself, like with him flying next to her. And so which is yeah. And so I mean there's a ton of parallels between, I think, well, there's just a ton of overlap. I think ground handling is what people don't do enough of, because ground handling really like tunes you for everything and like slow, and then it makes, like, I've seen a lot of like things happen in that part of, you know, the process. And especially in paramotor, where you have a whole nother vector with you, and you're dealing with a lot of stuff at once to get, like, depending upon if you're reversing or forwarding, and like there's motors, lines, like throttle, and so you're doing a lot of stuff. So the last thing you want to worry about is what's my wing doing, and so there's a big parallel between that. So every time I get a chance to kite, like I kite, like and so it's pretty, like, I think that's a very important thing. It just tunes you in because it's lower speed. Your CG is not like completely caught. And so you can really train a lot that way. And then, so yeah, I got a question for you.
For me?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think anybody asked me questions before. Like,
are single surfaces a big thing yet in paramotor? Are you see that coming? Do you see single surface wings coming?
Oh, definitely. Matter of fact, there's a lot of hybrids out there right now that are both single surface and double surface. Like there's one on APCO has one. I forgot what it's called, but it's just the front part of the foil is double, and then the trailing edge is a single surface. When we were out at Bad Apples last year, Fly-It Wyatt, I think he was 12 years old at the time. He's been flying single surface or single skin wings. I think that those are great personally. A lot less wing. Mm-hmm. It pops up really quick. I mean, you just, in almost nil wind, it's like do a reverse. It's like, where's that coming from? I've heard that they come in kind of hot, but I don't know because I've never flown one yet. Have you flown any before?
I have, just without a motor though. So I've flown quite it's a little interesting. Like it's unnerving, but you look up and you're like, I'm missing something here. You're like, is this really working? But no, they work really awesome for, just like you said, for kiting, like ease of like launch use and all that stuff. I'm not surprised, but that's interesting that they're coming. Like, I'm not interesting. It's of course going to happen that's coming to this as a lightweight version of what you can use. And so
I'm not sure how well or how long they hold up. It's kind of like the Roadster 3, when the Spider 3 came out, it was a much lighter version of the Roadster. And with the Roadster, you could pretty much run that through sandpaper and dirt and glass. Not really. I'm just, saying that it really took a beating. But the Spider, it's a lot lighter and has less material, and it doesn't do as well. If you're going to have like something with the single skin or something light like the Spider, I think that your LZ better be a nice mowed lawn or a sod farm or something, because I don't think they'll last very long. What do you guys think, panel, as far as single skin wings and stuff like that, real quick?
I like the idea. I mean, I don't know where the technology is at this point, but I kind of like the idea of lighter, easier to inflate, So, yeah.
I think it'd be really good to have one in your arsenal. Yeah. Eric, you plan on getting a single skin anytime soon?
I'm waiting for technology to improve a little bit. I mean, I know they've been out there for a long time in the free flight, but as far as the paramotor, I'm still, I mean, I'm just waiting to see, I guess, yes, but I want to see somebody that I know close by fly one first.
Right.
Like your wife, Jade, maybe?
Yeah, I'm gonna have Jade fly it first, and if everything works out well, then
Here, honey, try this real quick. I want to make sure it's safe for me.
That's nice, Eric. That's
Love
nice.
Yeah. Hey, Greg Laney says he flies a single skin paraglider wing with his trach. What do you fly, Greg? Let us know there.
And while he's answering that, Jim had his hand up. He's going to ask you a question, Ira. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, I was wondering where you've flown a few places. What's the most amazing place you've flown?
On a paramotor, I would say the Salton Sea is really, it's a trippy looking place. It's like in the middle. It's not really supposed to be a sea necessarily. It was like an accident, kind of an accident from the Colorado River, and so it's drying up. One of my friends did land in it on accident one time, which was a really bad scenario because it took about 2 hours to get 40 feet from the beach in because of the mud and muck. But it's a really cool place. Arizona's beautiful for it. As far as free flight, Brazil #1, and then Brazil's just an amazing view. They kind of, as long as you're being safe and you know what you're doing, it's pretty open to what you want to do. You choose your own fate kind of deal. And so that has been really cool. Costa Rica is fun. Like, I got to fly with some macaws in Costa Rica, and then one of my friends here actually trains falcons to fly with you. So we free fly, and the falcons come and land on the pole, like parafalconing. And so it's
so cool.
It's super cool. It takes a lot of training, but of the falcons and of knowing how to train falcons. He has about 6 linear falcons that he trained to like come and land on the stick with you. And so and that's the amazing
cool.
thing.
Yeah.
So you can like it's got, yeah, I think it's parafalconing. I'm trying to remember his website, but flying with birds is just amazing as well, because like it's and you're at a relative speed. It's like you can see everything. So yeah, I've gotten to fly quite a few really interesting like locations. I mean, I've drugged paragliders to my wife's, the bane of our existence, through many countries in bags, and just like not even gotten a chance sometimes, but sometimes you're like, oh well, I'm in Europe, so let's go.
Can you tell us real quick of all the different places? I forgot to ask this. Where's all the different places have you flown? You said that you've flown around the world. Where have you flown?
So like what is it, Italy, I've flown Brazil, Costa Rica, Mexico, US, speed flying skis in Canada, in Whistler area. And then that's probably the most of, I don't think I've flown in Alaska. I didn't take one too. Yeah, so mostly Europe and South America, Central America, US. But the US has some of the most amazing landscapes, beauty. And like we were talking before the show, one of my fears is always hitting a saguaro cactus, like flying because I figured it would have been like a Wile E. Coyote skit or something. You just stick to it. So like, like I don't know, like a Roadrunner thing. But so when living in Arizona, and then yeah, like I love California, and so mostly free flight a lot of places because again, they let you carry them on the airplane, which I don't know how that's a thing where I have a reserve and a rig like on the airplane with me. But yeah, so I take one of my smaller wings usually with me most places I go.
That is so cool. So let us know also too, what have you flown? I know that you said that you kiteboard, so that's not really flying, but you could catch some air. So kiteboarding, what else have you flown?
Well, fixed wing like J3, which was my favorite, like little fixed wing airplane. So I got to fly that. I got to fly a jet one time, like I was saying, in the military, F-15 Strike Eagle, which was pretty. Talk about some thrust. It feels like you're in a washer machine. Sailplanes, like I got a little while ago, I went with someone else and it like flew an acro sailplane ride, which if you ever want a good time, it's an amazing one because it's quiet and you're using all your own conservation of energy. So that one's really cool. Kite board, and again, kite board's not flying. If you're doing it wrong, you can fly sometimes, but like you're ultimately trying to jump. And so we got into foiling, which I kind of consider flying, which is like for like being drugged by a boat or surfing. So we fly, and which is a really cool thing to me because it's like an underwater wing that you're standing on top of, except you're the top part of the CG, so they're really tippy all the time instead of being the other way around. So it's a whole different dynamic of difficulty. And then paramotors and paragliders, and that's probably about it. Not much in a helicopter, I mean, but yeah. And then yourself, like base jumping, where you're just falling until and yeah, it's actually base jumping's gotten a lot now that they have instructors. And again, the instructor matters so much in this stuff, like going through proper training, because it's not a necessity all the time. And you can go on Craigslist and buy a paraglider and go be one of the people everyone talks about on who is this guy that's going to shut down the site or what. They don't know any of the rules, and like, you know, and that's again going back to the stewardship of this sport. I don't want to see limitations being put on it because it's because of people like coming in without proper education. And so that's a big part of, I think, what everyone in this community and all the communities should be helping your fellow new pilots, helping people learn, helping like that side of it, which is a ton of the fun. And that's where, you know, is teaching everyone else. And I applaud like things like this that are trying to educate and like get the word out there that there is someone to reach out to. You don't have to go do it alone, because it's that gets dangerous, and it shines a bad example on the whole sport as well. That's where, you know, that's where base jumping, a lot of those other things went wrong. It was just kind of a rogue activity that people were doing, and there was no real guidance or training in it. And now they're getting to that with courses and all this other stuff. And it's so available to go through, like, you know, paramotor, paragliding, like learn the proper way, learn weather, airspace, all that other stuff. So yeah, that's real important, I think, for the future and the longevity of minimizing FARs.
I totally agree. We got about 10 more minutes until 8. I mean, I can't believe that we've been talking with you for, 50 minutes already. That's crazy how quick this goes by. I love talking about paramotors and flying and all that stuff. Since we only got about 10 more minutes left, Eric and Will, if you can go through all the questions that are popping up on the chat, that would be awesome.
Yeah, there's one from Mad Sloper with your buddy that did the electric paramotor. Has he heard of the SP140 paramotor? It's all electric. And what you think about him if you have heard of him?
He probably has. He's heard about almost anything electric. I've been following a couple of them. I'm not as versed on it right now. I think that depending upon how there's a lot of really interesting things that drones and that have brought to light on on setting up systems like this. If we can figure out a way to dissipate prop noise, I think it'll be even more impactful. And so that's still going to be a constant. It'd be great if things were like silent. I think it's awesome that you can induce power, go to 0 power, so you're in free flight then with no noise. And so that really is the big appeal in a lot of the cases. And then it's probably not going to be just like a Tesla. It's not going to be something that's your long duration, like, you know, I'm going to go this huge distance on these. But if you just need to get out, get in the air for 20 minutes, it's probably, I think it's a good solution. You know, you're not mixing gas, you're not doing any of that stuff. And then you're basically unpacking and going. So, and then we've went through a few plans, like through the CAD files on how to like put these together. But his was interesting just because of who he is and how he was going about like making everything from scratch. And you can check out his company. It's evwest.com. And he's an interesting guy until his name's Mike Bream. And,
I think that's a great thing. You know, I think that there needs to be more electric paramotor manufacturers out there to get this technology really rolling.
Yeah.
I think that is where the future for this sport is going. Although there's a lot of diehard people who say, I'll never switch over to gas, never switch over to gas. But the technology is out there and it's coming up quick.
Absolutely. Just like the car. I mean, if you haven't been in a launch controlled Tesla, you can't talk. And you're like, oh, yes, absolutely aspirated. Like, you know, you're not going to beat like your Chevelle for iconic stuff from the, you know, like that day, but yeah, 0 to 60. And yeah, like, and oh, that did not just happen. Speed is pretty amazing. So hopefully the same thing. And there's some trickle down effect from between electric vehicles and drones that really bring some of these things to planes and paramotor, or like gliders and paramotors being the prime example because there's the most freedom to operate, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been driving an not electric car, but a hybrid car since 2006. And I would love to get an electric car like Tesla, but I like to go long distances, you know, like going to Bad Apples, you know, and going down to Florida and stuff like that. You know, I need to be able to get long distance, and they haven't quite got that yet. Last week we had Neil. He has an SP140. It's an electric paramotor, and he said that on his last flight he flew for 65 minutes on a battery. So I mean, the battery technology is really going amazing. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like in about 10 years. Any other questions in the chat? I know that we're really rolling up here quickly on the end of the show.
Will's gonna do a quick thumbnail. So
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
we always do our thumbnail Ira for the show. Yeah, there you go.
There we
Everybody
go.
just get all like jammed ready. Okay.
I do it here. Let's say, okay. 1, 2, 3. Good.
All right. Good
Okay.
deal.
I was just gonna wait for a while and see if you guys would start moving.
Start rolling our eyes at you.
There's these aren't the questions, but a couple of statements. Greg Laney says that he flies an Independence Grasshopper 28 meter with his trike. And Resurgence about that says the issue that he sees with the single skin gliders is the reduced flare authority compared to the normal wing. So yeah, back to the technology. I mean, you know, a couple of years, who knows?
Yeah, it's coming, and it's just like you said, Sean, it's kind of some of the durability factor I think is going to play into that, but that ease of use, and especially a single skin and electric paramotor that was just made to get you off the ground, get you flying would be, you know, that's an amazing thing. Folds up, packs away, and now you're going. And yeah, they're definitely, they come in a little, like the one, like I've flown quite a few of the single skin, like mostly Skyman stuff for us, but like they come in a little bit hotter and for sure. And then, but it's an interesting concept. You never get sand in them.
I know, right?
Standing on the
That's
beach,
true.
dumping sand out and stuff, and stuff like sand problems with them.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yes, I didn't even think about that. For all the
Yeah.
people that fly on the beach, they don't have to worry about cleaning out their butthole.
Never,
Yeah,
never
right.
thought of that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What about collapses? How do they compare?
I haven't actually taken a full collapse on one. In the rating system, they're putting them through the ringer now. Like they're really like, and again, like I think it was, like let your friend buy one and see how many collapses he takes. But I haven't experienced any of that. Again, we're not flying like usually thermic stuff in them, but they're thermaling them and they're doing everything you can do, and they're doing like acro in them basically now. So I don't like it. It's an interesting concept. Like I think it was Hayduke and some of these other companies made them that are literally like 14 grams or something. And so it's just, there's no weight involved in some of they call them hike and fly rigs, which is another thing that I like. Paramotoring, absolutely love the fact that you don't have to hike at all, but hiking and flying down, like descending mountains is stupid. So like,
Yeah. Have you ever, do you have a hike and fly rig?
And I've flown off of above Wheeler Crest. We went camping with one of my friends who has a TV show, Greg Aiello, who's an avid. He moved down here for paragliding, but he drugged me on what he wanted to do as a dream after being a big Sierra mountain guide. And we went up, hiked up above Wheeler Crest, camped at, I don't know, we were probably 12 or 13,000 feet, and then flew our like mini wings off of there with all our camping gear, which was, and I ended up breaking 2 brake lines on takeoff because you're taking off out of shale. And so that was kind of unnerving coming down, but everything was fine.
Could you
Oh yeah,
imagine
it's like
doing a
no
hike-
brake lines at all, but it was
No,
perfectly fine.
I still had one. Like it just broke the two tip ones on a and so I was still good.
That's
I-
awesome.
Could you imagine doing a hike and fly and you pull a wing out of your pocket and it's a 28-meter wing, you know, it's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pulled up very compact.
And then the harnesses, which again, it's getting like, and I have a reserve now that's like this big. And so like, it's great. And like a string harness, a mini reserve, like, and I don't know, that's something about me is I fly with a reserve, even if I'm not leaving 20 feet off the ground. A helmet and a reserve is like my like go-to, because I don't want to be made fun of. Even if I ever do crash, I'm going to pull my reserve out and throw it.
I agree. It's like always have that reserve and always have a helmet.
Yeah, I always have a helmet. Like you get made fun of. Like if one of us like go in without a helmet on, I get made fun of.
I know.
Like you deserved it. Like
Exactly.
at least put a helmet on.
We had somebody fall forward with their paramotor, fell forward and actually dented the helmet. It wasn't even a hard fall. It was like just kind of fell forward and the helmet was all dented. And I was like, can you imagine if you didn't have that helmet, you'd have a big gash on your forehead.
Yeah.
So
Like, and they're cool. Like mine, I got a carbon one with like noise canceling and like Seneca and all that stuff. Like it's cool. You look like you're getting ready to go in a jet or something.
yeah, some of them are pretty cool. We're really close to 8 o'clock, and I know that you said that you're only able to hang with us for an hour. So any other questions in the chat that we didn't get to yet?
No, but I did have a couple of bad apples announcements to make.
All right, go for it.
First of all, I want to give a big shout out to David Wolf. There's a lot of moving parts to a fly-in, and man, he's done a great job trying to make sure that this year's bad apples is going to be awesome. So one thing is, and this is pretty big, man, there's going to be a raffle for a brand new paramotor with a Vitarazi Moster, and donated by Aviator PPG and Vitarazi Motors. So you can buy raffle tickets. They're $100 each. You can buy as many as you want, and they'll do a separate, they're going to have another small raffle for other stuff and a little auction. But man, that's pretty darn cool. Now here's the really, really cool thing, that the proceeds of that are going to the Resurgence PPG. That's really nice. So Yeah, kudos, Vitarazi, and
Awesome.
yeah,
Very
maybe
cool.
there. The other thing is, and this is something that I've signed up for, is a carburetor rebuild class by Justin Fox and Alex Quintana of Leading Edge Paramotor. There's only 25 slots, and I will put in the chat who you need to contact. Just contact and reserve your spot. It's $30 and you pay at the gate. It's about an hour and a half course. They have all the parts. You tell them what year you got and motor or whatever, and he'll make sure he has all the parts there for the full rebuild. Last thing is Rob Cato is going to bring his virtual reality paramotor flight simulator to the fly-in. He's got a new speed course, and they're going to be doing a competition for a door prize for whoever has the fastest speed. So
Fun.
The fastest speed of what? Like
of
flying?
flying the simulator, I guess. The
Oh,
course.
oh,
He's got
oh.
a new course, virtual course, and so whoever has the fastest time will win.
Cool.
So, yeah, a couple cool things there, you know.
I think what I
Very cool.
heard with the carburetor rebuild kit there, I mean, you can take everything there, your motor, they'll all the way from taking it off to rebuilding it to putting it back on.
It's a
So,
class, so if they're going to teach you how to do it, they'll be there to help and supervise, and if any extra little parts are needed, like fuel lines or whatever, they'll have that stuff on hand just in case.
Okay.
But they'll have the kit for your specific motor.
Bad
Yeah.
Apple seems to be the flying to go to this year. If you're in the super chat, let us know if you're going to Bad Apples.
Yeah, and like I said, I'll put that in the chat, the email, so you can reserve your spot. There's only 24 spots left now, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Get a crack-a-lack. And
Yeah.
Ira, are you going to be going to Bad Apples or any other flyings this year?
I am not sure this year. I haven't been to. I've been a little overwhelmed with some work stuff and getting married and things like that. So I'm not 100% sure. I would love to, and I actually know Eric from growing up far well, so that's cool with the. But I'm not sure on that one. Like last year, I think last year we went to the Arizona Flying Circus one, which was a good time. Someone threw $5,000 in cash out of an airplane, and
Should've-
it
should've
was
been
blowing
there.
like 25 miles an hour, and so all the money just went into the desert.
Wow.
So that was a pretty but yeah, Bad Apple sounds amazing, and thank you for your time, and thank you for being good stewards and trying to educate and teach and like really propel the sport forward. And single surface and electric paramotor with a little reserve. That's
Sounds like it's going to be awesome here in the future. Ira,
Yeah.
thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining us
Yeah. Thank
tonight on our show. Definitely appreciate you. Amazing stories, and we didn't even get to the your friend crashed into a car story.
yeah, like I thought he was just
Do we want to finish up the podcast with that story, or
Well,
no?
We can. I mean, I have no problem telling it because it was pretty. The outcome was good. The end part was kind of not as good.
Well, we can not say the names to protect the innocent, but if you want to tell that story, it was pretty good on that on the first show.
So again, we fly it. If you have Google Maps, you can look up Fiesta Island. The wind's always good, so we take off it's where the first triathlon was held. Fly at Fiesta Island. We were flying around, like landing, takeoff. You can kind of do like the foot drag in the water right by the beach. So it's a pretty cool little area for being inside of the city. And one of my friends, he was actually best man at my wedding. So he flew a paramotor into my wedding with me after this, about 2 years previous to this. And so he was coming in, kind of wind had shifted a little bit, and there was a van parked with a roof rack on it. And he came in, let off throttle, hit the top of the van, like in some type of PIO, full throttled the motor, just the carbon prop goes flying everywhere. And so now he had him buck back up, and now he's like facing down again. And me and another guy were standing next to a car with a paramotor on the back of it, and basically stepped out of the way and watched my buddy careen into a paramotor, ripped the trunk off the car, broke the back glass. We're like, oh man, he's in a really tough spot. Yeah, the other guy happened to be a corpsman medic, so I was like, well, at least crashed in the right place. And so we basically were like, are you like, what's going? And he bruised his toe, probably because he had a helmet.
Bruce his toe.
Yeah, and I'm like, how is this possible? You ruined
awesome.
motors like a car, basically, and you bruised.
Wow.
And so he's like, yeah, my toe hurts a little bit.
I ripped the trunk off a car, came in, destroyed my paramotor, destroyed another one, and I got a bruised toe.
Yeah, that's.
Can't complain too much, I guess.
And we'll end it on that because I'm going to send him this link afterwards. So you can watch it. But yeah, it's a great sport, and it's so fun being around the people that pursue it. And so yeah, it's amazing.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing all these stories. Thank you for being on here and keeping us laughing and wanting more and more and more. That's been really awesome.
Yeah.
So definitely appreciate it.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, Ira. Thank you for
Hopefully
your
I'll see you
service.
at a fly-in. If you ever make it to San Diego, hit me up.
Right on.
Absolutely.
All right.
Go back to my old hometown over there.
The promised land, and Mexico's right there. And then they don't, yeah, like all the flying in Mexico is fun.
Right
We'll
on.
There you
definitely
go.
have to try that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and congratulations on the new marriage. And
Absolutely.
yeah, hoping sometime we'll meet up.
Absolutely.
There you go. Yeah, you're
Pleasure
welcome
meeting you,
back
Ira.
anytime at the show. Anytime, Ira. Jump on the Zoom on Monday nights. You know how to find us now.
Yes, I
So,
do.
like I said, you feel like hanging out, just jump in the Zoom. This is what we do.
Yeah,
Monday
yeah.
night,
You can
the
always be part of the panel. I mean, everybody on the
Yeah.
panel is somehow been on the show. So, you know.
Yeah, we send a link and just pop in and there you go. You're a part of our family now. See?
Absolutely.
Ira?
Well, it's all a big family.
It
That's
is.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
it
We
is.
are.
It's a big family. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
outstanding. Well, y'all, I'm gonna go see if I can
Okay.
find a story real quick.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right. Have a good one, Ira. Thank you again,
Enjoy
buddy.
your evening. Bye.
Good night.
Well, that was absolutely awesome. We don't have the spinning wheel of winning things. However, if you do text me 501-747-3558, let me know your name and your address, and I will send you out some brand new crisp $100 bills. No. Clear Prop TV stickers, and I got a bunch of other stickers from other companies, including Swag USA, and I think I got some other ones also. So just text me and say, hey, I want some stickers, and I'll send them out to you for absolutely free. Now, I know at the very beginning of the podcast, we didn't go through and say hello to everybody like we normally do. So let's go ahead and do that real quick to see what's been going on, because I don't know what's been going on with you guys. I mean, it's been a whole week. Let's start off with Jim from Canada, and your maple syrup money. I love it. Hey, how many flights have you done now, Jim? What are you up to? Because I know everybody that watches the show is just waiting to hear how many flights Jim has.
I got 113 as of today. I've had 3 days with 3 flights. I'm just so stoked. It's awesome.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. How's your printing business doing?
It's chugging along.
That's good. So I know that we talked about, you make the stickers, which by the way, I need some more stickers, and some other stickers. So we need to get up with you. What do you actually print? You print everything. It's a DIY. You actually have the printing company. Other people can talk to you and do the DIY stuff also. So what exactly do you do and print, just to give people an idea of, what they can get from you?
We put ink on paper, ink on vinyl. So really that covers a lot of stuff. Basically signs, stickers, and I really wish I knew how to articulate it, but let's put it this way, it's ink on paper. You choose the paper, I'll put it there, and I'll cut it to whatever shape or size you want.
Awesome.
You want it folded, you want to put it in a book, you want to do whatever to it, I can do it.
Awesome. Well, if you can print some money out, I need some extra money.
None of that.
Uh,
None of that. We're not even allowed to joke about that.
what? Who's not allowed to joke about that? That's freedom of speech. We can do that.
I'm not allowed to joke about that.
All right. So I won't put you in that position. But anyways, we definitely thank you for all the calendars that you made over at paramotorcalendar.com and all the stickers that you make for us and everything you do. And congratulations on your 113.
Thank you very much.
This is your 5 minutes of fame. Do you have anything else that's going on in your life that you want to talk about that you want the whole world to know about?
Oh, I got some cool videos that I've recently uploaded. I've got one. It's crazy. I found a truck on a house. Yes, a truck on a house. I even made a poem to go up with the video, and I think you guys will find it funny. I had a blast making it. Couldn't stop laughing myself.
It sounds awesome. Well, how do we get up with you so we can go check out your weird, crazy paramotor shenanigans?
CarePPG.com.
Care, as in like care, C-A.
As in, I don't care.
Oh,
PPG.com.
okay.
Although
Wait
I
a
do
minute.
care about PPG.
You don't care about PPG? Who are you? Where's, how do I get you off of here? How do I mute you and turn? No, okay, no, I'm just kidding.
You'll
But,
remember.
Yeah, so go to careppg.com, hit that subscribe if you haven't done it already, and the bell notification because, you know, I think he's going to be putting out some pretty cool stuff. And you can always get up with him if you need some decals. Does everybody know what a decal is?
No idea.
No idea. In Canada, they say things a little bit different. So we say decals. He says
Oh.
decals.
Oh, okay.
I know they call
get it
Dunkin'
now.
Donuts Tim Hortons up there.
We've got Dunkin' Donuts too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. So I learned something new tonight.
Yep, and your money are loonies and toonies.
That's for sure.
Yep, and it smells like maple syrup.
That's a fact.
It
I'll
is a
make sure
fact.
I'll make sure I bring a $100 bill down when I come to see you guys.
Absolutely. Anybody in the chat ever been up to Canada and smelled their money? It does smell like maple syrup. It's really awesome. All right, buddy, Jim, I appreciate you, and thanks for jumping on and hanging out with us, bud.
It's been great. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Another person that we really appreciate is our very own Linda Anderson, our ParamontUSA.com. Do you have your pom-poms? Because we didn't see them this.
I do. I
very
do.
beginning.
Tonight
So-
was kind of like, you know, we kind of got through the show, and I was like, oh, we'll wait for the pom-poms later. But no, this was fun, and Ira, yeah, he's a very interesting guy, and he just, yeah, so much information, and yeah, it was fun. I wish we could have kept him on a little bit longer, but it's okay.
Yeah.
You know,
I know our podcast only lasting an hour. What? That doesn't happen very often.
Well, I'm hoping
But-
you guys all had a good, had a happy Easter yesterday.
Yeah, good Easter, yeah. Good weekend.
Yeah, I had dinner with, you know, with my son and his girlfriend, and a bunch of the kids came over, and
Which son?
and Ryan dressed up, my son that lives here in Michigan, and he surprised the kids, and he dressed up as the Easter Bunny.
Oh,
And it was the cutest thing ever, because we had to kind of psych the kids out. And so he goes downstairs and he gets in his little, you know, in his Easter Bunny costume, and he goes out the front door and goes around to the yard, you know, to their big yard or whatever. And then we're all standing there and we're like, oh my gosh, it's the Easter Bunny in the yard. And the kids just, they went crazy.
we need a Easter bunny on a paramotor. So either
I
a remote control Easter bunny that flies on a little paramotor, or somebody dressed up as an Easter bunny. That would be really cool.
There was, yeah, he kind of surprised Lel, because I thought his girlfriend was going to wear the costume, and then he decided he was going to do it, and it worked out perfect. So anyway, it was a good day. I'm very blessed. I had a good time, Thank you,
Awesome.
chatters, for coming tonight. All the viewers, we much appreciate you. Much love. And you can also find me on Thursday nights on paraglidingtalk.com with your host, Robert Michaels. And that's about it. Nothing else really going on here. It's been cold today, right, Eric? Raining, snow, rain, snow, rain, snow all day. So
I know, crazy.
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I-
And I've been watching your weather too out there, Grandpa, and it hasn't been all that.
It's been crazy.
Yeah.
Been crazy. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much.
And
you
thank you, Linda Anderson. And if you want to be on our show, just go to paramomusa.com. That forwards over to her Facebook page. And you can just say, hey, Linda, I want to be on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast, clearproptv.com or paratalk.org, because that's where we go. It's just everything. So
Or just
definitely.
PM, private message me, whatever, and say, hey, when's the show, whatever. Yeah. And I'll get you all set up. Here you go.
Be part of the team,
Yeah.
Team Grandpa. All right. Well, thank you very much, Linda. I appreciate you. And also, too, a quick shout out to DP that donated $10 in the super chat. Definitely appreciate you. Also, John Wayne supports the show. He signed up and he supports the show every month. Definitely appreciate that. Who else does that? I think Brian Waller, and we got some more people too that
And Stamey does, I do believe.
and Kent Stamey. So yeah, shout out to all you guys. Thank you so very much. Definitely appreciate you. Couldn't do it without you. Definitely. We also got Will Fly from Will Fly PPG. Does a lot of awesome videos. What's coming up on your channel, Will? Anything fun in the near future?
Yeah, I just released a new video called Just the Tip 3. Check it out, youtube.com/Will Fly, or just go to willflyppg.com. And yes, I've got another one in the works. Shouldn't be too much longer. We'll see.
And don't forget to go to OnlyFans/Will Fly PPG, because Just the Tip is just something totally different on his OnlyFans. But just the tip, that's your tips and tricks on paramotoring, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. So, and you can find me here on Monday nights too. And then of course there's a show tomorrow night, Tuesday, 8 p.m. I'll be on that show too. So yeah,
Awesome.
see you guys there.
Well, thank you very much, Will. Definitely appreciate you. And you've been taking care of the questions in the chat. So thank you very much, Will. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Will. Appreciate you.
And also you did the spinning wheel of winning things too. And that's a lot of work,
Right,
but you know, why do the spinning wheel of winning things when you just text me 501-747-3558 with your name and your mailing address and say, I would like some stickers, and I will send them out absolutely free.
That way everybody wins.
Exactly. We want everybody to win. If you, and the thing is too, I'm going to be at Bad Apples. So if you want to get some stickers at Bad Apples, just wait. It's going to be what is it? 25 more days?
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
24-ish. I mean, it's not that long till Bad Apples, and I can't wait. It's going to be so fun. We also got Eric Lear from PPG Lear, LEAR.com. What's up, bud?
Hey guys, yeah, Monday night, you rocked the show again. Good show, great guest. Linda, great guests that you pick out. So shout out to both of you. But yeah, it's been a busy week. We've been running kind of all throughout the Midwest this week, picking up. We were able to pick up our fifth wheel down in Indiana, got back to Wisconsin to work with some students down in Madison where we trained. We were also going to do some flying, but the weather has just not been cooperating with us. Later on this week, it looks pretty good. But, and then made it back here last night to go to bed. So we have been kind of burning the rope at both ends. But other than that, we're going to be leaving here on May 6th. To head down to Bad Apples, and I'm hoping, let's see the distance we have to drive. Hopefully we'll make it.
Hope so.
But yeah, it's been busy up here in northern Wisconsin. Like Linda said, we've gotten snow today. We had rain today. I mean, it's just been crazy weather, but
Yeah.
I've seen it snow up here in May, so it is what it is.
Doesn't sound fun. Snow in May. That doesn't sound fun at all.
It's not, but I mean, that's why we live here. And everybody in the chat, if you guys could give a thumbs up, that would be great. Support the show. But yeah, I mean, we're just kind of counting the days, and then we'll be going to, let's see, the first flying for us will be Bad Apples. And then right after that, Memorial Weekend, we're going to be going to, I screw this up all that, the northern part of Lower Michigan. And we're going to be heading to a fly-in there at Torchport Air Park. So if anybody is in the Great Lakes area and want to go to a great venue, that is a lot of fun. This is going to be their second year. They killed it the first year. It can't get better. I don't know how they're going to make it better, but I know they are going to make it better. So yeah, it'll be a good time.
Awesome. You do something on Tuesday nights too, right?
We do. You can tune into ppglear.com, and it's Shane, Will, Mark, and myself. We will talk about paramotor things. This week, we're going to be talking about, because fly-in season is here, we're going to be talking about things not to forget when you go to a fly-in, because there's a lot of things that, the people forget,
Yeah.
so there will be a lot of things going on.
Sounds good. And also too, your wife does a all women's podcast about flying and stuff like that. Can you tell us a little bit about that since we don't see Jade here?
Yeah, so you can tune in on Wednesday, Flying Flamingo Jade or paramotorgirl.com and watch her show, 7 p.m. Central. She has any females in aviation on her show. She's had people from free flight to speed flyers to wingsuits to astronauts, everything, all of the spectrum. And I'll tell you what, that the female community is very, very supportive. They reach out to Jade, or they have a private chat that they're on. They reach out to one another to ask questions about things, hey, where can we go? Where can we stay? And it's working out the way it really should be working out.
Good.
I like how they all stick together. So
Absolutely.
but yeah, and that'll be Wednesday night, paramotorgirl.com.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it seems like, if you want to learn about paramotors, there's lots of podcasts, a lot of live shows that go on YouTube, and definitely check them all out. If you want to see what I do, go to iflyparamotors.com or ppggrandpa.com, and that's my channel on YouTube. However, I haven't been putting a lot of stuff up there. I just got a new three-legged 14-year-old dog the other day. So I've been, I know. Okay. So
It's a cute three-legged.
so here's the thing, guys. You're gonna love this one. Don't tell anybody. So we got the two rescue dogs, right? Buddy and Bubba. And
Okay.
my wife and I both agreed, no more dogs, right? So that's been our thing. No more dogs. Well, she comes home and she sees this dog. She goes, "What is this?" And I tried to explain everything, and she's okay with it. But she says, if you come home one more time with a dog, I'm putting you up for adoption. So I can't get any more dogs. This is it. And he's only 12 pounds, so he might be the next dog that goes up in the paramotor with me.
Nice.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
Oh my
man, I
goodness.
love talking about paramotors. I love hanging out with you guys every Monday. I wish I was able to watch your shows live on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. But man, I've just been so bombarded with so much stuff.
Sure.
Definitely behind the scenes, you guys have no idea what's going on, but it's been crazy. Just normal stuff, but crazy nonetheless. Anyway, we are coming up on 8:30 already. We've been yapping for an hour and a half. Ira Hayes was here. He was our guest. Lots of fun information, chatting about paramotors, electric paramotors, and all sorts of fun stuff. And then we've just been chatting about, our stuff for like the last half an hour. So I hope we haven't bored you too much. But is there anything that you guys want to talk about before we close out shop?
To say happy birthday to your mom, Grandpa.
Happy birthday to my mom. Yes, it's actually tomorrow is my mom's birthday,
Okay,
but
nice.
we had a little Easter / birthday get together barbecue on Sunday, which was really
Okay.
awesome. She really enjoyed it. And
Aw,
she always
that's good.
listens, she always listens to our show. So Mom, shout out to you. I love you.
That's
Mom.
right. Happy
I
birthday,
love you, Mom. I love you, Mom, and happy birthday. See?
There we
Hey,
go.
I love my mom. I don't know what to say. Love my mom.
That's great. I
All
love
right.
it.
Anything else before we say goodbye to the world tonight?
I think
Great
that's
show.
it. I don't know.
Awesome. Well, guys, like I said, I really appreciate you, Eric and Will, Jim, Linda. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Linda, again for getting Ira to be on the show. Who do we have next week?
Welcome.
Do we have?
Yes, we have, wait, I gotta look at my calendar.
I know I got a paper calendar over there too. Oh, with my hey Eric, while she's looking at that, I got
We're
a
dropping everything on the floor. Let's see. We have Jeff Pearson.
Jeff Pearson.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Jeff Pearson for
He's
next
a
Monday.
good friend of, who do I want to say? I got a brain thing going here.
So
Anyway, yes.
great
he's
friend
on.
of everybody.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, he put on the Flight If You Got It flying, I think. Jeff Pearson. Pretty
I think-
sure.
Yeah, I think I put it, well,
Is
I've
that
got
him?
it. I've got him booked. Yeah, got
Awesome.
him booked for, so far, so good. So I had to wait because he does does all the taxes during tax time and stuff. So now it's winding down. So that's why I had to wait till.
Taxes. Do we need to do taxes this year? Shoot.
I know.
I ain't gonna do it. I'll do it next year, maybe. I don't know. No, my wife already took care of that. Erica, Eric, I was gonna let you know that I got the enclosure for the snap maker. So now I'm using the CNC and the laser features of the 3D printer.
How is that working out? Have you-
Just started, just got the enclosure and just did a little laser thing. So what I want to do is make a lot of laser engraved stuff for our show, for your show, for whatever, and bring it to Bad Apples and give some stuff away.
Oh, that'd be cool. I want to see how, I'm very interested in that part of it. So when you get some stuff done, let us see it. I want to, maybe a new investment. So
Definitely. It seems, I mean, you can do pretty much anything. I mean, anything that can be engraved. I mean, it can be laser engraved, which means that you can laser engrave paper, you know, I don't know if you can, but I tried. You know, anything like this thing that Paramotor NC gave me, you know, you can actually engrave, you know, this, you know, I mean, he put a nice sticker on it.
right.
But you can engrave anything that you already have. And I saw some really cool stuff with bamboo. And I'm like, you know what would be really cool is to make some bamboo cutting boards with, you know, some paramotor stuff on it.
Well, I'm thinking about getting another tattoo. So if I could put my arm in there and we'll see what happens.
Oh,
An
Please do a
inkless,
video on that.
Right.
Please.
inkless tattoo is just raised up because it's scarred. I guess we could do that.
Right. It's worth a shot. I'd be willing to try it.
Yeah. Oh, and I didn't even tell you, but I think some people know I got a perm. So I got curly hair now, but I had to put some spray in it so it doesn't go. So a little something different.
oh, okay.
Right on, man.
So,
I've accidentally put out some videos that were supposed to be private, but they ended up public for just a little bit. So some people watched it. Where I am trying to lose some weight before Bad Apples, and again, continue to lose some weight and gain some muscles for my birthday in June by doing some interesting diet / keto / fasting. But that wasn't supposed to be public knowledge. It's supposed to be coming out after the fact, after 30 days. So don't worry if you guys watched it. there is more to come, and it's pretty interesting nonetheless. Anything else before we head on out? It's really good talking to you guys.
Had fun.
Had fun.
All right. Well, we will call it a night. Thank you very much for yapping with us and being on the show. Everyone that's still listening after an hour and a half, we definitely appreciate it. And like I said, if you want some stickers or something, just give me a text, 501-747-3558. Come over and hang with us every Monday evening at 7 p.m. and go to clearproptv.com if you want to see some old videos and the newest video that's popping up.
There you go.
There we go. I think we're done, right?
We're here.
All right. Y'all have a great evening and peace out.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Much love. Bye-bye.
That was my peace out thing. It's like peace. No, wait a minute. Peace is this. I don't know. Stop recording.